going, everybody? Hopefully it is not too breezy or not too windy out here today. It is a very brisk, crisp day. So I thought I'd come out and do my complete tutorial on how to get your Smooth Q out of the box and functioning. The Smooth Q has to be one of the easiest gimbals out there to set up right now. I already got this powered up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to power it down real quick and walk you through how to get this out of the box and get it set up. So when it comes to setting up the Smooth Q, it is essential that you balance it first. It should balance well with a small TPU case, but you might have to remove the case for a larger phone or a phone with a larger case on it. Right now I have my case removed, and as you can see, it's not powered up, but it is completely balanced. So I'm going to walk you through really quickly how to get that balance and how to get the best performance out of your Smooth Q. The first thing you got to do is you want to insert your phone by sliding it in between the two clamps here with the camera facing out. Now the Smooth Q, when it comes out of the box, you will be able to rotate this arm here about 180 degrees left or right, and if you do it incorrectly, what's going to happen is when you power it up, it's going to swing back this way, and it's not going to be able to go across the bottom motor here. So the way that I usually kind of check to make sure I am set up in the right orientation is I look for the Zhiyun Smooth Q logos on the arms, like this one here, and make sure that it is facing up and in the orientation that you can read it, and that's not upside down. There's also one on the side here, and make sure that one's facing up in the orientation that you can read it. Now if you put those up in the orientation you can read it and your phone is facing this direction, you have proper orientation for setting up your phone. And what I usually do is to balance it out on this orientation is I slide it into the clamps, and then I check to make sure there's equal space between the top and bottom clamp. That way it'll be balanced this way. And then what you do is for horizontal orientation, right now like I said it's pretty well balanced. What we want to do is you want to take this screw, untighten it, and then you slide the arm in and out until you get a nice balanced cell phone. Once it's balanced, and it doesn't have to be perfect, hit the power button and it'll power up. So now let's go through the actual controls on the Smooth Q. So the Smooth Q has a few controls on the front. This is your power button, and it is also your shutter button and your record button for video. You have a mode button here, which is actually going to take you through different modes of operation of the Smooth Q. You have a zoom button, so when you're in your photo or in your video modes, you can zoom in and out, and then you have your directional gimbal. So there are a couple different modes of operation for the Smooth Q, and they all can be changed by hitting the mode button. The first mode is going to be your follow mode, and what follow mode means is if you're using the gimbal in what I call flashlight orientation, as you rotate the gimbal, the camera will follow in that direction slowly to give you a smooth cinematic shot. If you are using the camera in the vertical orientation, it will still follow with left and right rotation of your wrist, but to control the actual vertical pitch of the gimbal, you have to use the directional control button on the front. If you click that button once, you're going to put the gimbal into what is called lock mode. In lock mode, the camera will stay in the direction that it was pointed when you locked it out. If you want to change the direction of the camera, you use the control gimbal to control the horizontal and vertical pitch. If you double press the mode button, that will put the gimbal in what is called full follow mode. In full follow mode, all directions are controlled by moving the gimbal in that orientation. So moving the gimbal left and right with your wrist will rotate it left and right with your wrist. Pulling the gimbal down will point the camera down. Pulling the gimbal up will point the camera up. There's one last mode, and that is selfie mode. So if you want to get in the selfie mode, all you have to do is triple tap the mode button, and the camera will turn so that you can film yourself while recording. You can also use the directional, got a big goose sitting behind me right now. You can also use the directional gimbal to control the vertical pitch of the camera. What I do in selfie mode is if you have a phone with a shiny back like the Galaxy S8, I usually use the reflection of the back to kind of point and aim that camera. If you can see that camera lens pointed in your direction, it's probably going to catch you in the shot because you have a nice wide shot. There's that goose I was telling you about. So let's get out of selfie mode by hitting it 3 times. And it'll turn the camera back into the forward-facing orientation. So once you've gone through those modes, let's say you want to change or you want to work on your gimbal, there's also a motor power down mode. And what you do is you hold the mode button down for 3 seconds. And what that does is, while the gimbal is still on, as you can see, this light is still flashing on the front, and your Bluetooth is still connected to the phone so that you could probably work on it or do calibrations and stuff like that, it has powered down the motors. So now there's no power to the motors, and you can adjust it without overloading the motors. Now, to get out of that, all you have to do is hold down the mode button for 3 seconds again, and you'll power those motors back up. Those are pretty much all of the control functions, with the exception of the zoom button, which in my opinion doesn't work that great. It doesn't work as great as the Osmo, and the Osmo has a nice smooth zoom when you're using it. For the Smooth Q, the zoom is stepped. So every time you press the button, it will jump forward or backward in steps instead of a nice smooth zoom. And oh yeah, the final feature was the power button / shutter button. So when you're in photo mode or in camera mode, if you tap that one time without holding it down for more than a second or two, that will start recording or take a photo. Now that we've got the controls down, let's go into the app and take a look at what the app can do.